Modern Pentathlon is an old war sport, and basically it's designed for if you're in the military, you're supposed to be able to sword fight, ride a horse, shoot a gun, and then if you're being chased by someone, you have to be able to run away or swim across a river.
Did the sports go together?
When I tell most people what's in the pentathlon, they say that's really random, such a random array of sports. But if you think about the skills that you would need to go to war, they actually fit together. So it kind of works like that. I need such an array of skills to be able to be the best at each discipline.
So if we can, let's kind of go through the different sports. So for the fencing part, what are you doing for the fencing part?
So the fencing is épée fencing, and you fence. There's three types of fencing. There's épée, saber, and foil in the Olympics. And yes, pentathlon has épée fencing. And in the Olympic Games, 36 athletes qualify, and you fence those athletes to one hit. So you just fence everybody to one. So it's 35 matches, and it takes 2.5 to 3 hours. It takes quite a long time, and you get points based on how many hits you've got. For example, if I had 18 hits and someone else had 17 hits, I would have five more points than them, and you just get five more points for every single hit that you get.
So, oh, I should have done this really from the beginning. But is there an order to it? Like you always go this in terms of the sports.
Yes, there is, yes. So I'll just talk about the Olympic Games format because that's the easiest. Day one of competition is the fencing ranking round. So that's when you fence everybody to one hit. And then day two of competition will be the semi-final day. So you ride, um, and that's a show jumping course of 10 jumps, about 1 meter 10. Then you do the fencing bonus round, then the swimming, which is 200 meters, and then the laser run, where you do five, 600s running with shooting in between.
Oh, you're doing the cross country running. So you run 500 or 600 meters, then you shoot, then you run, then you shoot.
And the total is five, 600s with four shoots, so it's 3K run total.
Which one of like if you look at those events, which one would you say is the hardest event?
They're all difficult in their own right, and I think different athletes find different sports more challenging than others. Uh, so I would say for me personally, I find the shooting to be most challenging because when you run before a run race, and any runner will know this, your adrenaline's really high and you're ready to run hard. You're kind of shaking a bit with the stress. And then you run and you kind of release adrenaline as you run, and your heart rate goes up, your breathing goes up. But then you have to kind of, when you come into the shooting range, you have to take your body to the opposite extreme of that. You have to calm your breathing right down, calm your heart rate right down, not panic, try and decrease adrenaline so you're not shaking, and just be totally and utterly focused on what you're doing and your process. So I find that change from being really pumped up to run hard to then this super focused, calm athlete quite difficult to master, to be honest.
Is there any kind of strategy in that regard? Like, okay, I could run faster, but then I will miss the shooting.
I don't think it's a case of if I run faster, I will be worse at the shooting. I think it's more you have to pace you run so you don't run out hard. But any you would do that in any running race as well. But I don't hold back on the run because I don't want to waste the seconds. I want to win, so I go as hard as I can over 3K basically. But about 20, 30 meters from the range, from the shooting range, I will slow down. I will shake my arm out. I have a thought process which I go through as I come into the range. So I'm in the correct headspace for when I pick up my gun to make sure that I am focused.
Okay, if you could switch out an event, what event would you get rid of? What event would you bring in?
Well, I'd definitely get rid of shooting, but it's funny you should ask that question because basically at the last Olympics in 2021, the Tokyo Olympics, there was a big fuss about the riding, animal rights and things like that. And there was this incident with a German girl who was kind of crying on the horse. She was in the Olympic gold medal position, and if she'd had a good ride, she would have won the Olympics basically. And the horse, she wasn't getting on with the horse for whatever reason. I think it had been upset by a rider that had been up that had ridden it previously. And essentially, there was a big uproar about riding. So the international body of pentathlon, the kind of governance of pentathlon, decided to get rid of horse riding out the sport and replace it with obstacle course racing. So this comes into effect in 2025 after the Olympic Games. So after this Paris Olympics, horse riding is gone and it's the introduction of OCR.
That seems like a huge switch. That seems like a totally different kind of thing.
Yes. I think it's really sad because I think there's a lot that could have been done over the years to improve standards of horse riding, improve everything basically, from athlete welfare to horse welfare to just so many different things that could have been done. And the governance of Pentathlon, the international board, kind of just did nothing and they've just sat back for years. And then they've kind of gone, well, once there's been a big problem, they've been like, right, well, let's just take out the sport and do something else. We can't be bothered to deal with it. So, yes, there was a bit of an uproar from the athletes because we were like, what are you doing? This is a sport that we've been training for so long, and it's just not. It's been like this is the sport. It's been like this for 100 years. It's one of the oldest Olympic Games sports. It's a really traditional sport, and I know there's so many more modern sports coming in now. So it'd be nice to have the contrast between the modern sports at the Olympics and a really traditional sport. But it's kind of
Yeah.
yeah, it's kind of like taken like this modern twist, I guess. And yeah, no more horse riding from after this Olympic Games.
That seems to me, as an outsider, right? Like that's a totally different thing. It's not like, all right, we're going to switch out the 1,500-meter run for a 2,000-meter run.
Hmm.
That's like, okay, we're going to switch out horse riding for boxing or for weightlifting. Like that's totally different. Do you think that will just completely change the dynamic of the way that the sport is?
Yeah, it does just make it a whole different sport, really. And I do think it's going to change the dynamic of the sport because one of the most exciting things to watch in the pentathlon was the ride. The ride and the laser run are definitely the best things to watch. So hopefully they can. I've kind of got over it now because this went through about a year ago, but I'm just hoping that they can make the obstacle course racing really interesting and really engaging for a new population of athletes, basically.